Hello, do you know who's in this basket? To know about it, I have to read you a Bible story from the Usman Children's Bible to let you find out. And the story is called Moses in the Bulrushes. Many years after Joseph died, Egypt had a new king who was very cruel to Joseph's family. The Hebrews who lived in Egypt, he made them work as slaves. They were forced to make bricks of mud, build great cities and temples for the king, and to work on the land. The Hebrews worked hard from early morning until late night, watched over by the Egyptian guards, and they were beaten if they tried to rest. There were so many Hebrews in Egypt, by the time the king was frightened, they would rebel against him and seize his throne. So he made a new law and ordered his soldiers to kill the Hebrew baby boys as soon as they were born. One Hebrew mother managed to hide her new baby son called Moses until he was 3 months old. But as he grew older, she was afraid the Egyptian soldiers would hear him crying, find him, and kill him. One day, she picked up Moses and hurried secretly down to the riverbank. She made a basket out of reeds and covered it outside with tar to make it waterproof. When the basket was finished, she put up Moses in it. He was fast asleep. She put the basket gently down on the water and pushed it out of the great Nile River. Moses' sister was hiding in the reeds. She watched the basket float away in the river. She followed it, walking along the bank to see where it would go. A little further along the bank, the Egyptian princess came down to the river to swim with her servants. She saw the basket floating on the water between the seeds. "Bring me the basket here," she ordered one of her maids. The maid picked up the basket and brought it to her. When the princess saw the baby, she said, "That must be a Hebrew boy." At that moment, Moses woke up and cried a little. The princess felt so sorry for him, she decided to keep him. Moses' sister watched hidden in the reeds. And here we can see baby Moses. She saw what happened. She ran to the princess. "Do you want a Hebrew nurse to look after the baby for you?" she asked. "Yes," said the princess. "Bring one to me," she ordered. Moses' sister ran quickly to her mother and told her what happened. She led her mother to the princess. "Take this baby away and look after him for me. I'll pay you well," said the princess. Moses' mother was very happy, took the baby son home, and looked after him. He was safe now. He stayed with his mother and the rest of his family until he was old enough to go back to the princess. Then his mother took Moses to the palace. He is my son now," said the princess. Moses grew up in the palace with the princess. He was treated just as if he was an Egyptian prince, but he never forgot that he was really a Hebrew. And here we've got a little picture of a dragonfly. And so now you know that in this basket we have little baby mosses who swim to the river until the princess saw him. And now we'll read another Bible story. It is called Moses Leads His People Out of Egypt. Moses was an important man in Egypt, but he was very unhappy when he saw how badly the Egyptian masters treated their Hebrew slaves. One day he saw an Egyptian whip a Hebrew man. Moses killed the Egyptian, but someone saw him, and Moses knew the king would hear about it. The king would have Moses put to death. Moses escaped into the desert and lived there for a long time. One day he saw a bush on the fire, but it wasn't burning up. As he went closer, God spoke to him. "You must go to Egypt," said the God. "Take your brother Aaron with you, and ask the king to let the Hebrews leave Egypt. He will not agree, but I will make him. Then all the world will know that I am God. You will lead the Hebrews to the land where they will be free and have plenty to eat." Moses didn't want to go, but he knew he must obey God. He and Aaron went to the king and asked him to send the Hebrews free. The king was very angry. He said he wouldn't let the Hebrews go, and made them work even harder. Moses was in despair. He asked God to help him. Then he went back to the king again. Moses warned the king that if he did not let the Hebrews leave Egypt, God would make terrible things happen. But still the king refused. Then the terrible things began. First, the river turned red, and no one could drink the water. And there we got the picture. A week later, thousands of frogs swarmed out of the river and ran into all Egyptian houses. Then there were clouds of horrible flies which filled the king's palace and all the houses except the Hebrews' houses. But the king wouldn't let the Hebrews go. Then the animals began to die, and the Egyptian people were ill with horrible sores. Their bodies after horrible sores on their bodies. After that, there were terrible storms. Hail flooded the crops, and great clouds looked and ate up that what was left. But still, the king would not let the Hebrews go. The worst thing of all was when the eldest child of every Egyptian family died one night. God had told Moses that the Hebrews should be safe. Every family killed a lamb. And put a little blood on the drops out of the house. And then they roasted the lamb and ate it with flattened bread and herbs. God said to the Hebrews, should always remember when death passed over them, and keep it as a special feast day. At last the king said the Hebrews could go. The next day they left Egypt, following a column of smoke during the day, a column of fire at night, and sent by God. The king changed his mind. He sent his army racing in the chariots, and after the Hebrews saw them coming, and and were terrified. In front of them was the Red Sea, and behind them were the king's soldiers. Moses told them not to be afraid because God would help them. He pointed across the water, and strong east wind sent by God blew the water, making a dry path for them to hurry across. But when the Egyptian soldiers tried to follow them, the sea wrestled back, and the soldiers were all drowned. The Hebrews were free at last to go to the land which God had promised them. So here we got the flies, and here we got the little mosquitoes. And next time we'll read Moses in the Desert. Hoping you did have us reading, and see you on another Bible story. Bye!